Now Swiss, stop doing these weird runway experiments. This Boeing 737 does not belong here. To this runway that offers a length of only 957 meters, 3,100 feet of usable space. Way too short for a plane like this. I mean, this is a Cessna airport. There's a small FBO terminal right here. But what if I told you that in 2015, a Southwest 737 landed here accidentally? Look at this interesting picture of this airplane taking off from the airport again. How did this plane end up landing here? Well, on accident. Plane lands at wrong airport here in Branson, Missouri. And I don't know what's wrong here with the flight. Something is really weird about this airport, you know, this weird aura. But what the hell is going on? You know, this is a very interesting phenomenon that does seem to happen even in modern times with modern airplanes. Even here, maybe on the even probably not. We're right now approaching the Mumbai International Airport. Can you see this runway here though? Yes. We've talked about this one before as well. This is the so-called Yoo-hoo airport that couldn't be placed more poorly. It's so interesting, I guess, in bad weather and bad visibility when you're flying into Mumbai for the first time to mix up the two airports, especially because the distance from one runway to the other is just 1.4 kilometers. The result of that is multiple occasions where airplanes did not fly to the right airport and instead landed at the small one. Now, yes, this happened in 1972. You might think in modern times, pilots won't fly to the wrong runway, right? But the reason I'm using this Airbus A350 to demonstrate these two airports' close proximity is because in 2017, a Singapore A350 had to do a go around because they also approached the Yoo-hoo airport. As you can see, this is where they were supposed to land, and this is where they wanted to land. The Yoo-hoo airfield has quite a few of these examples. This was another Aviation L-18, interestingly, that landed on the wrong Bombay airfield. And this was such an interesting scene that they overran the runway right next to the already overrun Japan Airlines 707. I'm not kidding. Two planes kind of at the same time managed to do the wrong landing. And yes, there's tons of articles even in the US about something like this. Also about the Southwest Airlines that wanted to land right here at the small airport of Branson here in Missouri. But instead it ended up landing here. And this is, you know, at the Clark airfield. I mean, in all fairness, they were doing this approach at night, a visual approach. And while visual approaches at night, flying just by eyesight creates a lot of problems and is the reason for many of those wrong landings. You may remember this insane thing that happened in San Francisco a while ago. Basically, an Air Canada airplane was approaching the taxiway and not the runway, which turned out to be a big problem because there was a United Airlines plane on the taxiway. So this was a near collision when the plane came in landing at night. And yeah, that's a good reason why some airlines don't allow visual approaches at nighttime. For example, Lufthansa. May remember this event in San Francisco 2 years ago.
Lufthansa 458 Heavy, depart Cork heading 100 due company procedures. We are unable visual approach at that time.
Lufthansa just doesn't do visual approaches at nighttime. They don't want to be landing on a taxiway or on the wrong runway or even at the wrong airport. To be honest, there is quite a distance between the airport that we want to land at, which is Branson, and the airport we end up landing at, which is that one. Honestly, I almost have no understanding how this could go wrong. Basically, they're coming in for this approach. RNAV. You would definitely be able to see these big runway lights. And all I can see of the other airports is these flashing lights right there. Can you see that in the background? I have no idea how they could botch that up. Especially on the next generation 737. That's not like, when we look at the flight plan, you definitely should be able to see that you're not flying into the right runway here. But you know, judging this in the flight simulator is always very easy. We're not in the real cockpit and not in the real life situation. Either way, we're flying past the desired runway and we make a right turn, as you can see, because even the direction of the wrongly landed airport is different. As you can see, this is not even the same runway at all. So here is the runway lights of the wrong airport that we're going to be landing at now. We have to make a bit of a turn, VFR flying. Whereas our original airport is waiting behind us, we're now turning for final approach for this runway. I mean, honestly, you kind of notice even the lighting situation on this runway is not very well equipped. We don't even have center line lights. Couldn't you have realized that this is kind of a Cessna airport and not a 737 airport? I honestly have no idea. I mean, the Branson airport, the one that we were supposed to be landing at, doesn't necessarily have the biggest runway in the world, 2 kilometers. It's not any big at all. It doesn't have ILS. But to be honest, even at nighttime, you should kind of notice this difference. This doesn't look like an international airport, you know. Nowadays, 11 years later, planes are also equipped with better runway awareness systems, I guess, that would say, caution, wrong runway, or taxiway, to say, hey, pull up right now. I mean, come on, goddammit, this airport does not even have a poppy light. How could you be thinking this is the right one? Anyway, let's do a landing. Shut up. Alright, we're landing now on this not very well lit runway. There we go. Okay, that's been a landing. Let's go ahead and stop now. Upon touching down with the 737, the pilots realized very quickly, this can't be right. And so they wanted to stop this airplane fast and applied maximum braking, and they did, and so they stopped, just like we did. The 737 can do what we just did quite well. And so they did. Hard application of the brakes. Interestingly, it says here, once the airport was in sight, the pilots did not reference their cockpit displays, which is interesting. You've got 2 pilots sitting there. How could they have not noticed this? I have no idea. And so Southwest back then grounded the flight crew of the plane. After the landing, the pilots obviously deboarded and they were bussed from the airport to Branson Airport. Luckily, the passengers were refunded their tickets. Great. What a gesture of goodwill and inconvenience. What I would like to just relive, and it's a shame that there wasn't really phones back then that, everyone used to record with, was the moment of the pilots coming out of the cockpit and saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to tell you, we've landed at the wrong airport. Anyway, obviously all went well. The plane took off again from the small airport as well. I guess one learning is that you should kind of trust your instrument when you're flying an airliner like this and look out the window better, or maybe not build airports in proximity to each other this much. This is the Dreamlifter. I don't know if you remember this, but this was around 10 years ago. It was going to fly to McConnell Air Force Base, but instead it landed at this airport, Colonel James Jabara. That was in 2013, and yes, when you take a close look at this final approach, we want to land over there at this Air Force Base. You see kind of where a mix-up could happen, especially also, once again, at nighttime. So here is, okay, actually, never mind. I still actually have no idea how they could mess this up. This also looks like a significantly smaller run. Also, this airport doesn't have 2 runways. This one does. How could you have messed that up? I mean, okay, there's tons of airports here just in the area. There's also one here. I don't know, why would you have so many airports and, just make one? Like a good one. Anyway, we end up landing here on this runway in 2013 on a runway that's just 1.8 kilometers long. But to be honest, that's a very doable distance. Obviously, everything was very safe here as well, especially for takeoff. No problem. Once this airplane is empty, it can basically fly anywhere. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and stop this airplane now. We have successfully touched down. Very good. Now, what is very noticeable is the runway width. Yeah, this is definitely a mess up right there. Everybody, how to get fired as a pilot. Don't land at the wrong airport. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters, Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijutsu Finer, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.